know that the cost on this can vary, depending on a number of reasons. How do you get paid? Do you charge by the hour? Do you charge a flat fee? How do you charge your attorney fee?
So generally, there are some things that are out of my control. If it's a felony, there's going to automatically be a $250 state charge, and then, like I said earlier, each court charges a filing fee, and that'll roughly be between like $100 and $175. So right out the gate, even without attorney's fees, you're looking at like a $375 commitment. Then
I don't need to know what you charge. I just want to know how you charge it.
Yeah. And then you're going to have to pay some service fees to serve all the parties. A lot of times you can do it by certified mailing. And then the attorney's fees, I generally charge a flat fee. Okay. If it's in the Jackson County area, it's going to obviously be cheaper than if I have to go further out. But I have done these all the way over in Montgomery County, on the way to St. Louis, Columbia, Cass County, things like that. So I go all over.
You can go all over.
And I also do Kansas. And Kansas Kansas is easier on expungements than Missouri too. So
that is very interesting.
You wouldn't have expected it.
No. Is the process much different in Kansas than it is in Missouri?
So in Missouri, it's considered a civil action. And in Kansas, it is considered a continuation of the criminal charge. So they file it on the criminal case. The other change is that you actually file it in whatever court you got it in. In Missouri, it's going to be in the state court, even if it's a municipal offense. In Kansas, I'll actually file it in the municipal court where the client got the conviction. So you may have something in 3 different little municipalities instead of one just state court case that lists all of them. So, and Kansas a lot of times does not require court appearance, and the court sends it out to all the agencies. I don't have to serve it. So it's literally just, they do all the work. So it's a little bit easier.
That's good to know. I just want to go back to something that Tracy said about court cost and it being a civil action. Basically, every time you file a lawsuit, whether it's against your neighbor or your landlord, or in this case, it would be the state of Missouri, the court requires a certain amount of court costs to be paid. What those court costs depend on so many factors, but it's going to depend on where you are and what the action is. And then you figure that out. She probably has a very good handle on the costs. So when you do contact her, she will know, when you give her a jurisdiction, she probably has a good idea of what the court costs are going to cost. But that is another added cost into the attorney fee and then service. Is there any other costs that we're missing in that?
The only things that I always ask people to take into consideration are if you do have to take off work for a morning. Some of these dockets in Jackson County are big, and you might have to take off a half a day. And so that's a cost to you. That's a time expense that you're not, The only other things are sometimes when the records are so old, I'll ask you to do a criminal history check. So you might need to pay $30 or $40 to the highway patrol so I can see exactly what's popping up. Because CaseNet has only been uploading documents for so long. And so I've got people that are trying to get, felonies expunged from the 80s, and that there's not a good paper trail. And I want to make sure I do a good job and I get every agency served. So we need to find out, all this information. The other thing that you might have to do is go get a fingerprint card. And I found that the highway patrol over in Lee Summit does it for free, and they'll give you the fingerprint card, and I just file that, and that helps them match up your records. Some of the smaller municipal courts, if you call, I think it's like $5. You can go in and get the fingerprints. And like I said, that just helps all the agencies match up your records, make sure they get everything. And it's not some way that they are like trying to track you or anything like that. But anything we can do to make it easier to get all your records together and all of them sealed, I try and help them out.